Good morning, all, and welcome to our weekly town hall today. Beautiful here in North Carolina, and I hope it is wherever you are. We have the wonderful opportunity to hear Eddie Hauben today lead us in this practice. He's a longtime friend and fellow meditator with Lama Surya. We've heard him in the past, and if you're a member, then maybe you attended the November event where the two of them told stories, and that was a great time. For those of you who just finished our spring retreat, it's nice to see you. I hope you had a wonderful retreat. Thank you for joining us, and those of you that attended the live stream. That was our first attempt with that, and it seemed to go quite well, so that will be part of the future as well. And if you weren't able to attend either one of those, then it's like, darn, I missed it. We are going to have a day-long retreat virtually in April, and Eddie Dunn, dual Eddies today. Eddie Dunn, if you could put that up for me, I would appreciate it. It's April 27th. It's all day from 9 to 4. And it's just a little sampling of what it's like to be on retreat. We've jumped right here to the master class. That's the last master class of this session. They go from September to April. There we go. The last master class of this session, April 13th. So if you can join us that day, that would be great. And then we will start again with the fifth session of that in September. I will now turn it over to Eddie Hauben, and he will lead us today in Town Hall. So thank you, Eddie, for being here. And it's always great to have you with us.
Welcome, and it's always a pleasure to join you, and I want to thank everybody for showing up. It's appreciated, and taking this time to be with us in the community. Clearly, the Buddha talked about the Sangha as being one of the three virtuous practices, but that how friendship and Sangha is a large part of the spiritual journey. So thank you for coming and being with us this morning. Before we start, I always like to honor my friend Surya. We've been friends for quite a while, and he lives in the area where I am, outside of Boston, and so we get to see a lot of each other. But I found this, it was a preface in Surya's original book, The Awakening of the Buddha Within, and it just always strikes me when I get the opportunity to share this with you, of what a unique being Surya is, and that his teachings have spread to myself and others and have really inspired us. This was written by Thich Nhat Hanh as the introduction to the book. It says, "I see awakening the Buddha within as a beautiful flower blooming on a beautiful tree that is wholeheartedly committed to true inquiry and practice. Lama Surya Das uses the appropriate language that can communicate the wisdom and experience of Buddhism to people of his times and environments. To me, this is a great achievement, and I feel deeply grateful for it. I wish Lama Surya Das a great deal of happiness in living and sharing the Buddha Dharma in the West." You want to just take a moment and settle in, connect with the present moment, using the breath or the body or sound. Just taking this moment to be here now, nothing to do, nowhere to go, and no one to be. Again, just connecting with who our true selves really are in this present moment. And seeing into the nature of the mind as it dances, arises of thoughts, falling away of thoughts, feelings, sensations, all in this present moment. Letting the mind settle, the body settle. And the energy of life fill our spirit and open our hearts. Just breathing in, knowing, breathing in, just breathing out, knowing, breathing out. The impermanence of all conditioned things arising and falling away in this very moment. Just sitting. as the mind and body settle in. I'd like to read you one of my favorite poems by Rumi. It's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. They may be cleaning you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So thank you for showing up and your presence. I'd like to talk a little bit about what I've been experiencing in my own practice and some of the things that I've been doing in terms of practice and the years I've spent in a spiritual journey. Last year, my wife and I, we celebrated our 50th anniversary, which was a joy and a pleasure and amazing in and of itself. And thank you. And our youngest son gave us a subscription to a writing program called Storyworth. And Storyworth is an online platform that allows you to write your stories, and the questions, in our case, came from our kids. And the last one, the last question I've been working on is my youngest son asked me, what is the role of religion and spirituality in your life? And I've written about 75 pages, and I've gotten to half my life. So it's been quite an undertaking to try and change the lens of the conversation and of the story to reflect on the spiritual nature of one's growth. And what I wrote to start off was that for myself, that I'm in the fourth quarter. This is an appropriate metaphor at this moment if you're interested in basketball. March Madness is driving all of us a bit crazy. But this idea about a fourth quarter for myself, I just turned 77. And so thinking about life in the context of evolution and time and space, of drawing on that experience and writing about it in the context of what I've been doing for all this time in my role. And it's been fascinating. One of the most interesting parts of it is all during my life, I've kept notebooks with my thoughts and ideas and poems and drawings. And when I'm writing this story, I've been going back and uncovering those notes. There are a couple of things happen. One is that what I think I remember is not quite accurate. And I have the actual, description of those events. And that's a bit unsettling, but illuminating in many ways. But the challenge is I've been getting lost in those memories, in those writings. And so when I'm trying to articulate it now, it's become challenging to clarify that and to not want to put in everything that I experienced every day from then into this process and somehow sum it up. But I basically began by stating that I was, at this time in my life, over the last 50 years, spirituality has been the main theme of my own practice, and uncovering the question, who am I, and what's the words I use were, what's this all about, has been very prominent in my thinking. And what I was able to do was to try and track, which is something you might consider, all those events in one's life that were part of not the day-to-day necessary living or the immediate relationships of friends, but the spiritual frame that comes from one's practice, and how the events that you've experienced can be illuminated from that perspective. I had the fortune, somebody recommended recently this book by Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche. It's In Love with the World. And for some of us, or for myself, it was very wonderfully done, because what he describes is a yearning to be a wanderer and to be a sadhu. And he's a very well-known Tulku Rinpoche, and he's always been treated first class in luxury and taken care of and never handled money. And he decides that he needs to go out on his own to find his way. And he sneaks out of his monastery in Bodh Gaya in the middle of the night, and then talks about this putting wood on the fire, which is to awaken and let go of the images that we carry, the self that we carry, and how that works. Well, it turns out within a very short period, he was out of money and was starving, and went begging and found some food at a restaurant. It was like the leftovers, and 2 days later he was sick as he could be. And he describes the death process and how the mind and what he's been trained was able to be with that process. For me, what was extraordinary about it is that if you were with us when we were talking with Surya in the members meeting, the event that he describes, which is coming close to death, was one that I had when I was younger, which helped set me on my path. I also came close to death when I was in India at the time, and my wife was able to get me to the hospital the day I turned yellow. And I got to the hospital, I was in a semi-hepatic coma, so I had hepatitis. And for 5 days I was in a coma. And what I was able to do is to read in this journal, the description of what I probably went through. The difference is that I wasn't awake. I had no idea. It had the same catastrophic change for me in terms of coming close to death and becoming friends with death over my lifetime. But that idea about the possibility in these, it talks a lot about the different bardos that were described in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And the main one is that life lived as a bardo of living, which takes us to our death. So I'm just going to read you the summary, which I found as a closing to the story, which I think you might appreciate in terms of the search that we're all on. And it inspired in me, once again, once I finished reading it, to continue practicing. It goes, this is the closing of the entire book. In parting, I would like to give you one small piece of advice to keep in your heart. You may have heard me say this before, but it's the key point of the entire path. So it bears repeating. All that we are looking for in life, all the happiness, contentment, and peace of mind is right here in the present moment. Our very own awareness is itself fundamentally pure and good. The only problem is that we get so caught up in the ups and downs of life that we don't take the time to pursue and notice what we already have. Don't forget to make space in your life to recognize the richness of your basic nature, to see the purity of your being and what its innate qualities of love, compassion, and wisdom naturally emerge. Nurture this recognition as you would a small seedling. Allow it to grow and flourish. Many of you have generously asked how you can help support me, and this is the way that I share with you. I keep you in my heart and in my prayers. Closes the book. So for me, it was just very poignant in my own practice and in my own life to be with someone who experienced something very similar with a language. That's what's extraordinary about the book, a language to be able to explain what it was that was happening with the mind. And this whole idea of my practice has been based on what the Buddha referred to, the three characteristics of existence, which are impermanence, changing nature of arising and falling away of all conditioned things, suffering or dukkha, which is the unsatisfactory nature of all conditioned things, and not self, which is the unsubstantiality of all conditioned things as well, and the self. So that's been my study, my practice. I've learned my tradition has been more in the Vipassana or Theravadan tradition. I was involved with the Insight Meditation Society, and the folks, Joseph Goldstein, Sharon Salzberg, and Jack Cornfield have been my teachers over the years. And the marrying of some of these interests with Surya and Dzogchen practices, coming to understand and appreciate the natural mind that Surya talks about, has been an extraordinary benefit to my practice. And so this opportunity to share my story with my kids has become very powerful for myself, and to be able to articulate these things. One thing I'd like to also share here, I have three sons, and during this process, I've been thinking about legacy, something that many of you might be interesting to think about. But what is it that you've accomplished? What is it about who you are? What is it about the nature of reality that you would like to leave as a legacy for those left, that you're moving on from? And this was all, much of this was done on retreat at the Forest Refuge, which is a part of the IMS, which are silent individual retreats. And this was the first part of the legacy. I've written much more since then, but if nothing else, treasure that you received from me an exposure to the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha. My father said many times to me that his search was to find peace of mind. I don't know if he ever did, but I have, along with the spiritual journey of insight, loving kindness, wisdom, and compassion. In your wonderful busy lives of family, children, friends, and work, there might not seem that you have time, but I offer to you there is no important endeavor than for you to start and pursue a spiritual path. Which one is up to you that will bring you true happiness, peace of mind, and liberation from suffering? And may your spiritual journey be a legacy you leave for your children, family, and friends. And that for me captured the spirit of my practice over 50 years of not, of the importance of it, although I haven't gotten anywhere and there's nowhere to go and get, to articulate it in this way, I felt. And I got interesting response from the three. They're very different in their personalities. And the one was, I'm just too busy. I don't have time. It's a nice idea. The youngest one was the most interested in learning more about what that was about. And my middle son said, I'll get to it. So I had the range of response in terms of the value or what was possible. One of the challenges with family, and part of my writings is about choosing the life of a layperson and not the life of a monk or a nun or a monastic, and how in our everyday working or everyday daily life, one's practice can be the primary inspiration and motivation for what we can experience. And basically for me, the end result, the end point, like summing it up in one thing, is to be kind. Is to be kind to oneself and to be kind to others. And all of this practice has led a sense of contentment for me that's, it was worth all the effort. It was worth the price of admission. It was worth a few moments of experience, the content, all the misery of sitting on the pillow and the mind jumping around and, confusion and heartache and delight and bliss and all of it wrapped up. The quality, the nature of it, it's worth that moment, that moment of contentment, and one of the quality of life of knowing that. I'll step back a moment. That with all the practice and with all the paying attention, with all the sitting down and walking and lying down, as Surya talks about, the beauty of the practice for me is that when the nature of the qualities of mind are dispelled, the defilements we refer to them, greed, hatred, and delusion, that in this practice they are dispelled through our practice and our attention and our motivation. That what happens is the Brahma Viharas, which are the metta, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, flourish on their own. They blossom. You don't have to do anything, and the result of one's practice can illuminate these wholesome qualities in your own heart and in your own being. And what the result for me has been this nature of, or this quality of kindness, and how that plays and can be the force for our understanding of the world and making it a better place. With this, I'd like to, out of this practice of these Brahma Viharas, there is a series of prayers that have come through to be able to speak to this. I might have gotten this from Surya, but I'd like to share them with you. And so if you just want to take a quiet space, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do a metta, a loving kindness practice to close the session. So there'll be an opportunity. And then afterwards, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to share them with you. And first, let me just show you this lovely cartoon about this fourth quarter. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little boy talking to an older man on the couch. And it says, yeah, well, I didn't believe in reincarnation when I was your age either. So it captured the spirit of this transformation and change. And along with the study in the Tibetan tradition of the bardos and the bardos of becoming, and how the transformation can occur in our own minds. But if you want to just take a comfortable seat in your mind, prayer for a world abundant in metta. May we all, individually and collectively, be friendly, kind, and considerate of one another at all times and in all situations. Prayer for a world abundant in karuna, which is compassion. May we all, individually and collectively, be caring, understanding, empathetic, and helpful to one another at all times and in all situations. Prayer for a world abundant in mudita, sympathetic joy. May we all individually and collectively rejoice in and partake of the joy experienced by others at all times in all situations. Prayer for a world abundant in peka, which is equanimity. May we all individually and collectively, realizing the reflective and impersonal nature of the God thing, own our actions, past, present, and future, and the reflective results. Prayer that we may be better stewards of the planet and its creatures. May we all individually and collectively live lightly on this abundant earth, sharing in its bounty, receiving what we need to survive, and at the same time ensuring that ecosystems are preserved, allowing other life forms we share this planet with to thrive. Prayer for healing, that we all individually and collectively be healed in body, mind, and spirit, consistent with any agreements we may have made prior to this incarnation, and with the well-being of the whole. And finally, the prayer for the enlightenment of all beings. May we all individually and collectively realize the nature of things quickly and easily, and having such realization, may we engage our creative powers in thought, word, and deed for the benefit of all beings. So going back and reflecting, this is just readdressing this idea about the fourth quarter. This was the opening to my answer to the role of religion and spirituality in my life. As I move through life now in the fourth quarter, the question about the role of spirituality has played in my life is foremost on my mind and in my heart. It is and has been from my early 20s the dominant theme of my search for meaning as to who I am and what this is all about. So that's kind of how I started off this conversation to myself and to my family about what the meaning of spirituality is. What is also interesting about the question is that it also included religion. And that's a fascinating component of the connection of my search, in that I was raised in a nice Jewish home in the Bronx. And what was wonderful about it is that I lived in a complex. My family was working class, or so maybe lower middle class. We did well, but my uncles and aunts, and I had 17 first cousins. And in this environment where I lived, there was 2 of my uncles and aunts, and there were 7 of my cousins, my grandmother. And so we had a community, and you were always received unconditionally. That is, anybody in the family, that was the heart of the religious experience, that and eating, of course. My mother was a wonderful cook, and that made it all the more gracious. But I spent a lot of my time on the street with friends, and it was the friendships I spoke about. The Buddha talks about Buddha's assistant, Ananda, asked the Buddha one day, he said, I've been thinking about friends and how they might be, part of the spiritual search. And I think that maybe it's half of the spiritual search. And the Buddha said, no, Ananda, friendship is the whole of the spiritual search. And so the religious part of my early experience was of friendship and of nurturing and unconditional love. So you could drop in on it. I could drop in on any of my aunts and uncles or my cousins, and they were always, nobody ever questioned anything about who you were or what you needed or what you wanted. You were just welcome. And so those are feelings of how that merged with my spiritual practice and my spiritual understanding the nature of that set of events and how the family and community was supportive. I didn't realize what that influence was until later on when I began to explore the nature of spirituality and take on that for myself as a path. So one more reading from a spiritual teacher of mine who had followed. So I've had two kind of spiritual trajectories. Surya talks a lot about his his name came from being part of Ram Dass's group with Neem Karoli Baba and Maharaji in India. And so I've been close to that group as well. And so there's been this one part of the path is the bhakti or service or karma yoga of doing service. And the other has been this concentrative meditation, vipassana or insight practice. And so those have been the two of my vehicles for understanding and moving. And in that context of the Hindu tradition, a good friend of mine was a follower of Meher Baba, who some of you may have heard of, but he was a great modern Indian saint. And before we practice a little more, I'd just like to read what he says. He calls it the game. He said, to penetrate into the essence of all being and significance, and to release the fragrance of that inner attainment for the guidance and benefit of others by expressing in the world of forms, truth, love, purity, and beauty. This is the sole game which has any intrinsic absolute worth. All other happenings, incidents, and attainments can, in themselves, have no lasting importance. So now I'd like to take a few moments, if you want to, again, find a comfortable spot in breathing, and I'd like to do some metta practice with you, and to finish up with this metta practice. And again, metta, loving kindness, the Buddha had said that you can't find anybody more deserving of forgiveness than oneself. And so we just start with the self. And if you've practiced metta before, you have a sense of how it goes. And if not, what we do is we pick some phrases that resonate that you want to share and will comfort and guide you along your path. And we take that first step, and it usually is in the tone of may I when we start with the self. And so may I be strong and well. May I be happy. May I be free from mental and physical harm. May I live life at ease. And for the second time, may I be well and strong. May I be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May I live life at ease. For the third and final time, may I be well and strong. May I be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May I live life at ease. Now bringing to mind someone close and dear to you, a mentor, a partner, someone who's shared your journey and has helped you along your way. Bringing them to mind and wishing for them May you be strong and well. May you be happy, free from mental and physical suffering. May you live life at ease. For the second time with this person who has helped you along your way, guided you, and a mentor, friend. May you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical suffering. And may you live life at ease. For the third and final time, the person who has been dear to you, mentored you, supported you on your journey. May you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May you live life at ease. And now, conjuring up a neutral person, someone you might encounter but not know well, and bringing their image to mind, or their sense of being to mind, and wishing for them, as with the others. May you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm, and may you live life at ease. And again, for the second time, may you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. And may you live life at ease. For the third and final time, may you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical suffering. May you live life at ease. And for the third and final time, may you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. And may you live life at ease. Now bring to mind a difficult person, somebody that has hurt you in some way, or has just been difficult and challenging. Bring that person to mind and open the heart to that possibility of offering them well-being. May you be strong and well. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May you lead life at ease. For the second time, bringing that person to mind. May you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May you live life at ease. For a third and final time, that person in mind and an open heart. May you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. And may you live life at ease. And for all of us gathered here together in the Sangha, may we be well and strong. May we be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May we live life at ease. For the second time, may we be well and strong. May we be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May we live life at ease. The third and final time, may we be well and strong. May we be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May we live life at ease. And finally, with a heart as wide as possible, may all beings everywhere be well and strong, free from mental and physical harm. And may they live life at ease. And again, may all beings everywhere be well and strong. May all beings be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May all beings live life with ease. For the final, third and final time, may all beings everywhere be well and strong, free from mental and physical harm. May they be happy and live life at ease. So thank you again for your showing up and your attention. I wanted to leave a few minutes for questions, if there are any, and if you in the reactions, you can raise your hand, and Eddie from Dothan will, I think, unmute you. But if there's anything on your mind that you'd like to share, I have some other things I could read as well, but I'm happy to answer any quandaries you have or any thoughts, or if you want to just share some insight, be happy to hear and share for the others. So at the moment we could leave it at that.
Eddie, in the chat, there is a question about what the name of the app or the program for your stories. again.
Yep. So the website is just Storyworth. It's one word, Storyworth, WORTH, and it's for us. For me, it's been a remarkable adventure. We've been writing for about 8 months now. We have probably 250 pages, and you can put pictures in it, so there's lots of room for images, which has been challenging because in all these albums and scrapbooks we have hundreds of pictures. So it's had moments of feeling overwhelming, but in the long run, and what they do at the end of a subscription is they make a published book. So you get a final book, printed book of everything that you've done, and you can get as many as you want. So I've been inspired by it. I have other projects I'd like to get to. I have a project. When I was young, I used to paint, and Surrey is always bothering me about this, but is to get on and do it. I'm painting in abstract imagery the Brahma Viharas, the defilements, the three characteristics of existence and liberation. So I've got 11 paintings I'm working on in abstract expression of those qualities of mind. And so maybe next time I'm here, I'll show you some of those images. But so that's my next project after this writing project. There's always something to do. So hopefully there's always something for all of you to do as well that's inspiring. And along with that, we have a 4-month-old grandson. So that's been exciting as well.
That's great.
So yeah, I'd be happy to share those as they evolve. What's fascinating for me is that a lot of my practice recently for the last 20 years, I was on the design team. So the Insight Meditation Society is the facility in Barrie, which has been the home teaching the Vipassana and Theravada tradition of Joseph, Jack, and Sharon. If you're interested, I just finished something else. I just finished a documentary movie about the founding of IMS. It's on their web. It's called Inside Insight, and it's on their website. And I worked with Jack, Joseph, and Sharon and others to bring that story to the present. And part of that is that I was the design manager. I have a background in architecture. I was the design manager on the Forest Refuge, which is the long-term retreat center as part of IMS. And I've been sitting there. So you go when you're on your own, basically. You have your own schedule. There's one bell a day for lunch, but basically everything else is up to you. And I've been sitting there. And so a lot of these, I have a song to share with you before we go that I wrote. But a lot of this, like the idea about the film, the idea about the paintings all arose during those practice sessions. When my mind gets calm, I think we all find that when we actually sit down, that it all comes up, everything that's in there, whether it be interesting, exciting, challenging, difficult, that the capacity of just being quiet allows this all to emerge. But I wrote this tune. It's not a tune, it's just a refrain for a tune. It's in the spirit of row, row, row your boat. But I'll give you this as my parting gift. It's row, row, row your mind gently through the delusion. Merrily, 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 life is but an illusion. That's my contribution. And it seemed to fit all of this practice and everything that we've been studying. So I'm happy to be able to share it with you. So I will bring my paintings next time. And I appreciate in the chat, there's been some lovely feedback, so I really appreciate that, hearing that. And my process for doing this is that I'm always in the back of my mind is evolving in terms of what I might want to speak about and what's present. And I go there, and then I show up and it all unfolds, in terms of clearly the practice and what's important, some of the things that might resonate. So I really appreciate the feedback about being able to share this time with you, and appreciation for your practice and practicing together and honoring our buddy Surya Das. And so I'll just end with his millennial prayer. which he uses quite a bit on most of his practices, and it's very much in tune and in line with what we practice here today. But may all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may they be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, safe, and free. May there be peace and harmony in this world and an end to war and violence, poverty and hunger, inequality and oppression, greed and cruelty, pandemics, famine, droughts, earthquakes, and all kinds of natural disasters. May all be free from fear, harm, danger, anxiety, and insecurity. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey, one beloved community, one circle, one family, all the way home. And that deserves a bell.
Thank you so much, Eddie, for your time today, and I always love your metta practices. That's great. And in the chat are ways to help us continue Lama's mission of transmission through donations and membership. Love to see you at more events. And this is the day long that I was talking about on April 27th. And if you do both of them, the 27th and June 8th, there is a discount for that. So go to our website, www.zogen.org. Check out all the things. You can get some of his articles and some of his podcasts. Please join us whenever you can. We're here every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So hope to see you again soon. And Eddie, thank you for being with us. And you know I'll be in touch to rope you in again.
That's okay. I'm happy to do it.
Great.
It's great.
So have a good day, everyone. Take care. Lots of love for you, Eddie, in the chat. I hope you read them all.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone. It's great.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.